All right, so now we're going to talk about graphing parallel and perpendicular lines. We're going to start with the parallel lines. Parallel lines are lines that do not intersect and are contained in the same plane. For two lines to not intersect, they must have the same slope. So our first example here is to find the line parallel to the line y equals 1/2 x plus 3 through the point 4, 3. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get, so remember to write the equation of a line, what we need is we need a slope and a point. So since we want the line parallel to this one, its slope is going to be the same, and we're going to go through this point. Okay, so I write down the point slope form of the line. And this is my point. So I put all the stuff in. Y minus 3 equals 1/2 x minus 4. Okay, and now it says to graph both lines. So I'm going to graph y equals 1/3 x, or 1/2 x. You picked the right thing. So I'm going to graph so this works a little bit different than a calculator, but it looks nice. So here I have the line that was given, 1/2 x plus 3. And I'm going to graph the function that I found. So I'm going to graph, well, I'm not going to use this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the point, now I can't remember what it was. Oh, 4, 3. So go to the point 4, 3. And my slope is 1/2, so I'm going to count out 1/2. So rise is 1 and run is 2. So up 1 over 2. And now I connect the dots. And we can see that the two lines are indeed parallel. They're going to stay the same distance apart the whole time. All right, next one. Find the line parallel to the line 4x plus 3y equals 10. And we want to go through the point 3 minus 1. Okay, so we need to put this into point slope form or slope intercept form. So I need to get it to the form y equals mx plus b. So what I'm going to do is take this 4x plus 3y equals 10, and I'm going to solve it for y. I'm going to do that by subtracting 4x from both sides. Okay, combining like terms. Now I divide by 3. And essentially, I just divide each term on the right side by 3. So I end up with y equals minus 4/3 x plus 10/3. Okay, now I'm not all that interested in the 10/3. I'm really interested in this because that's my slope. So the line that I'm going to find is going to have slope minus 4/3, and it's going to go through this point. So now I switch to the point slope, or the point slope form. There's my x1 and x2. So y minus a minus 1 equals minus 4/3 x minus 3. And a minus is plus. So I'm going to come down here. Y plus 1 equals minus 4/3 x minus 3. And so that would be my line that's parallel to the given line through the point. Okay, now we're going to talk about perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines are lines that meet at right angles. That a right angle is an angle that's 90 degrees. The slopes of the lines that are perpendicular are negative reciprocals of each other. For example, if we had a slope of m equals 3, that would be 3/1, and we take the reciprocal for the parallel part, or for the perpendicular part, so we get 1/3, and it's the negative reciprocal. So first we take this reciprocal, and then we make it negative. Okay, so here we have a slope that's already negative. So I take its reciprocal and multiply it by a negative. And so the two negatives cancel out, and it becomes positive slope. So minus 5/3, the negative reciprocal of that is positive 3/5. Okay, so now we want to find the equation of the line perpendicular to the line y equals 2x plus 3, and we want to go through the point 0, 5. Now this point is the y-intercept, so we can use the slope-intercept form of the line, since we know what the intercept is. Okay, now the perpendicular line is going to be perpendicular to a line with slope of 2. So when I find my new slope, I take the reciprocal and multiply by a negative. Okay, and then my y-intercept is 0, 5, b being 5. So my equation is y equals minus 1/2 x plus 5. Now we want to graph both lines. So we come over here, and let's get a new window. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, got a little funky. There. Okay, so the two lines. We want to graph the line through 5 with slope, oh, it's not quite what I wanted to happen, with slope negative 1/2. So I'm going to go down 1 and over 2 so that my line is downhill. So that's the perpendicular line that I found. And I was graphing a line with slope 2 and y-intercept 3. So there's my y-intercept of 3, and I'm going to go up 2 and over 1. And connect my two dots. Now, because I messed up the thing, the grid, this may not look exactly like a right angle, but I can measure a right angle. So here's what I'm going to do. Oh, whoops, that didn't work. It did not do what I wanted it to do. Let's try again. Oh, I need a point at the intersection. Okay, I'm going to measure. And we see that it is 90 degrees. It has a little algorithm that when it's 90 degrees, it makes a little square. So the lines do meet at right angles. Okay. And then another example is here we have a line in general form, and we want to find the line that's perpendicular. So the first thing we need to do is put this line, the line that's given, into slope-intercept form. So I do this by subtracting 2x from both sides. So I get minus 5y equals minus 2x plus 4, and I divide both sides by negative 5. So I can do that by just taking each term on the right-hand side divided by 5. And now I can simplify. So y equals 2/5 x minus 4/5. So this is my slope for the line that I'm given. So the slope of the perpendicular line, I take the reciprocal and multiply by a negative. Okay, now I'm going to go through this point 2, 2. So I'm going to use point slope form. So y minus 2 equals minus 5/2 x minus 2. And to graph that, let me check. So it's the line, well, let's see if I can remember how to graph this. Let's see if I can remember the equation long enough to get over here. Okay. So we found hang on. So I got to try to figure out how to plot the point. I don't know if I can just... So anyway, basic. Algebra. Oh no, that's fine. All right, let me see if I can. So I need to get this 4/5 is minus 0.8. So there we go. So there's my intercept, and its slope, I've forgotten. So here's the line I was given, minus 4/5 and slope 2/5 x. Okay, so I'm going to go up 1, 2. So from minus 0.8 to 0.2, and from 0.2 to 1.2, that's going to be up 2, and then over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And need to make it 1 point. See if I can get it to be 1.2. There. So there's the line that I was given. And then I want to graph the line to the point 2, 2 with slope minus 5 over 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. And graph that. And then just to check and show that the lines are perpendicular, I will measure the angle. You don't have to do this, but just to demonstrate that. Nope. Let's go this way. There we go. And it's a right angle. So the lines are perpendicular. Okay, I think I just have one more example. Find the equation of the line parallel to y equals 3 through the point 5, 1. Okay, so y equals 3 is a horizontal line whose slope is 0. So if I take the reciprocal, I can write this as 0 over 1. If I take the reciprocal of that slope, I get a 0 in the denominator. So this is undefined. So what kind of line has slope undefined? And the answer would be a vertical line. So, and it's not hard to see that if you, you know, the two the x and y axes meet at right angles. So it's logical that a line parallel to the x-axis would have a perpendicular line parallel to the y-axis. So I want to go through the point 5, 1. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. And so it would just be a vertical line. That's a terrible vertical line. But vertical lines have the equation x equals, and then the x coordinate that it goes through. So that would be x equals 5. So there's my vertical line. Y equals 3, perpendicular line through the point 5, 1 is x equals 5. And that's perpendicular and parallel lines.